What's good, y'all? Dr.Trehunna. I actually did a 5-day no food, no water fast. If you ever watched that show Naked and Afraid, it shows contestants who's basically trying to survive in the wilderness for 21 days, and sometimes they go 5 to 10 days without food, and they magically still alive. But I hear a lot of my clients who is trying to lose weight asking me,
"Hey Trey, when I go into starvation mode?"
So today, what we're going to cover is starvation mode. Is that really a thing that you have to worry about when you are fasting? Where does this even come from?
Hey guys,
My name's Michelle.
Anita, Sarah, Julia, Peyton, Talia, Jazz, Marquita.
I'm a physique.
Product.
Period. You love to see.
So there was a scientist back in the day who actually conducted a experiment in America. This was called a Minnesota starvation study. And in this study, some men actually signed up for this, went as long as they can without food. But not only that, they made them do this for months on end. And what the researcher realized was, wow, not only the human body is way more resilient than he thought it was, but they also was still alive. They went months to the point that the average person's weight cut in a quarter. So if I am a 200-pound male, I literally lost 50 pounds and I'm still alive. Now, all these participants, I'm gonna be honest with you, look like skin and bones, right? But the thing that he realized was the human body is way more resilient than you think. A lot of marketers and a lot of food companies took this study, put their own little spin to it, and made you think if you go a day without food, you are starving. Or we all heard this, if you go 3 days without food, you will die. And a lot of people now is afraid of fasting. So the difference between fasting and starving is fasting is control. Now, if you actually understand the human physiology, you can actually go on YouTube right now. There's people on YouTube that went 30 days without food. There's people on YouTube that actually went 5 months without food. There's actually a study, which you can actually type in, the longest duration of fasting done in human history. There's a dude who was 400 pounds, which means that he has body fat, which means this is stored up energy, and he was able to do a fast for how long? Drum roll, please. A whole entire year. From December 31st to December 31st, this man did not eat any calorie for a whole duration of the year. And you know what happened? He went from 400 pounds to 180. He was still alive. He was still totally fine. Now, I wouldn't advise anybody to do this without medical supervision. But the moral of the story is the human body is resilient. This body was made to feast and famine. The irony is, in America, we never give our bodies the opportunity to be in a famine state.
That can't be the case because I was doing a caloric deficit diet at one point, and when I was doing this caloric deficit diet, it got to a point where my body just stopped losing weight.
Yet I was doing the exact same thing. Here's the reason why that happened to you. A lot of people do not count calories accurate. And we actually had you eat ad libitum, which means freely. But we also told you, hey, we want you to only to eat 1,500 calories. You know what you're naturally gonna do? You're always gonna overeat about 300 calories every single time. And that's what researchers notice that happens all the time. They always be inaccurate about 300 calories. But not only that, Food and Drug Administration, if you live in America, to be 20% off with their calories. 20% is what? If a label says it is 200 calories, it really could be 240. But we could legally put 200. Just like if you actually look at majority of your oils, propellant spray, if you look at the back, they all say 0. When you look at your seasonings, they all say 0. But the third ingredient is sugar. Sugar got calories to it. Why are they putting 0? They're able to round down to the nearest 10. What you're basically dealing with is ignorance in an environment where everybody's trying to manipulate you so you can buy their product. Just like we was all taught that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But breakfast is an American thing. If you go to Europe, they don't really do breakfast. When you go to Africa, they really don't do breakfast. Breakfast means simply breaking a fast. So if you're thinking, oh, for breakfast, I need pancakes, eggs, waffles, Quaker oats, cereal, etc., you have a bad association with breakfast because that's the American way. And just to give you some quick information, the person that said breakfast is the most important meal of the day was John Harvey Kellogg. Where did you hear Kellogg from again? Oh, that's like the Frosted Flakes guy? Kellogg cereal? Yes, the exact same person. And that was a marketing campaign, and now you believe breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's why only Americans believe breakfast is the most important meal of the day, because he happened to be American. Everything happens for a reason. There is something called a TDEE. That means total daily energy expenditure. This is basically your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. That's about 83% of your metabolism. How much muscle mass you have on your frame actually dictate how fast your body burns fuel, all right? But then the other 20% is about how active you are. And that's called active energy expenditure. Are you going to the gym? Are you very sedentary? Are you the person that after you do a hard workout, you're laying on the couch for the whole entire day? These little things add up, a part of your total daily energy expenditure. There's also something called thermogenic activity. When your body's breaking down the food, your body has to use calories as well. So all these things, your thermogenic activity, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, you actually moving your body, all equates to your total daily energy expenditure. So long story short, is starvation mode a thing? No. I promise you this, if you go 5 days without food, you're gonna see the scale drop. Now, you're probably not gonna like it, but you're gonna see the scale drop. Are you gonna die? No, as long as you're giving your body enough water and electrolytes. So that's why I tell my clients to make sure you get alkalized water, which is Essentia or Smart Water, because they're actually adding ingredients into it. That way it's a little bit more potent with the electrolytes, okay? That's the difference between alkalized and alkaline. It's not gonna be as potent as something that's alkalized. We intentionally added electrolytes into it versus something that naturally comes from a spring, okay? When you're fasting, you're abstaining from food. And when you're in starvation mode, there's actually no food available. Two totally different things. So I'm choosing not to eat, even though I can eat. I'm choosing not to drink this alcohol because I'm doing a dry January, even though I have the capability of doing it with all my friends. And last but not least, if you are somebody who's telling yourself, I feel like I'm in starvation mode, my body is rebelling back against me, start taking pictures of everything that you eat. Because you're gonna start to realize that either one, you're eating more calories than you think in a day, because now you're picking up a handful of blueberries and not taking account of that. You're picking up a breath mint from the doctor's office, you're not taking account of that. Oh, I'm drinking this protein shake and you don't consider you drinking calories as calories, you're not taking account of that. Or B, you are overeating and you're binging over the weekend, but because you're starving yourself 4 to 5 days out of the week, you still think the scale should drop, but it shouldn't. Okay? So make sure you are being meticulous and cognizant of your weekends. Yes, life is gonna happen. Yes, you know that you might have a baby shower or a wedding or a vacation or your brunch. But at the end of the day, if you have a goal in mind, you gotta stay on pace. From what I've seen, the weekends will derail what you did 4 to 5 days. Okay? So that's why I tell my clients to cheat smarter and cheat with intent. If you're gonna cheat, cheat. Make it a cheat meal, not a cheat day. And most definitely don't make it a cheat weekend. If anything, just keep it to a cheat day. Get it? That's your reset tip of the day. That's gonna be stay snatched all the time. Know the summertime. Talk to you soon.